Wellness, we believe confidence isn't just how you look, it's how you feel. From subtle, natural aesthetics to personalized wellness care, everything we do is intentional. This is beauty with purpose. At Vibe Men's Health, we take that same approach. We focus on what matters most: strength, energy, and performance. Built on real data, real medicine, and real results, we're here to help you look better, feel stronger, and live fully. Come vibe with us today.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 9.
Good Tuesday evening and welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 9. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor, and finally, toasty temperatures have taken a back seat, but unfortunately the page is turning into a news story, and that includes storms heading into those overnight hours, including some strong storms up and around the Mississippi and Tennessee state line. That's where we're under a level 1 risk. This is what we will be discussing throughout our 9 o'clock broadcast, but a little bit of a precursor of information is that is the big story between now and your morning shows with our meteorologist Maggie McCauley. So more storms are overnight, but also some on the stronger side. We'll be looking at the latest on our Futurecast coming up in just a moment. And as we shift our attention to the south, Tropical Storm Bertha is right off of the Mississippi coast as that continues to track along the Gulf and will eventually make landfall probably here in the next 12 hours or so. The first 12, speaking of the next 12 hours, we're sitting at 10% coverage at 10, 10% coverage by 1, 20% by 4. And that's how it'll be heading out the door for our Wednesday morning commute. With it only being about 10 to 20% coverage, that means we're not getting the effects of Bertha, but that 10 to 20% coverage is the result of a cold front pushing into North Mississippi. Temperatures not cool just yet. Thank you very much. But it will be cooler heading into our Wednesday and beyond as we wrap up the work week. Some beautiful sights outside tonight. We're 84 degrees in New Albany. One of the areas we are watching because just north of New Albany, just north on I-22 is where we're watching that level 1 threat. And then as we look from New Albany sitting at 84 degrees, we're seeing Greenville. Oh man, unfortunately the reporting station is down. I will tell you, this is one of the warmest spots we've seen today with temperatures up in the upper 90s, feels like values above 115 degrees, which is unbearable. But it's that time of year, right? Caledonia coming in 88 degrees, feeling like 99, and the skies continue to remain calm. That's how we expect it to be down in Caledonia. A little bit of a different story the further north you go. Looking at our Mama Justice Doppler radar, you can see a severe thunderstorm watch still in place for Lawrenceburg and up there towards central and northeastern Tennessee until midnight tonight. Here in North Mississippi, not seeing a drop so far, and we do have our Memphis radar site working. I know, perfect timing, right, for these storms to move in, so at least we will have the latest information there on our Mama Justice Doppler radar as these storms do track in. Now, with that being said, the storms on the stronger side, just south of Clarksville, including a tornado warning just getting issued for folks out there just north of I-40. So we're paying attention to storms further towards the north and east, and we'll take a look at some of those storms coming up in a few moments of some tornadoes in peculiar locations. But here in North Mississippi, we're not expecting tornadoes. If we get anything, it'll be in the form of some of those stronger wind gusts. That level 2 threat, that is where that tornado warning is issued, because that's an area that we expect more of those reports to come in. Down here towards North Mississippi, we're talking about a limited number of reports. So far, those reports coming out of West Virginia, out of Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey, where those tornadoes have been seen. But look at the sheer amount of wind damage reports across the United States. Unfortunately, that is a possibility for us as those storms continue to track more towards our area. Our Mama Justice Doppler radar showing that cold front that's allowing these storms to push on through. But as we get further in the night, that potential does limit itself for folks up there where that severe thunderstorm watch is in place. Now, for us here in North Mississippi, we know it's hot. We know it's muggy. Well, unfortunately, those are the two ingredients to really get these storms going. When you add in a lifting mechanism, that's really going to allow these storms to fire off. And that's why it's a different scenario for this nocturnal threat, is that threat doesn't diminish overnight. It actually gets enhanced almost to where we're going to see some of those storms strengthen during those overnight hours. Now, Bertha remains to our south, not expected to be an immediate impact for us here in Mississippi, or North Mississippi, I should say, but the front is our story overnight. Let's track that out on Futurecast, and you'll see as that approaches North Mississippi, we're going to see additional development just kind of build in along this frontal boundary. And like I said, during those overnight hours, we're talking about a strengthening taking place rather than a diminishing. So by 3 a.m., there's going to be rumbles in Senatobia, up there towards Hernando and South Haven. Ripley, I remember a few folks watching at 6 asking, hey, what about Ripley? Well, Ripley is included with those storms, Corinth and Iuka. Where those storms set up will be key to how strong they do get. If there's a ton of action and a ton of storms competing for that energy, that'll limit our severe weather potential. But if we get some of these storms to be on the stronger side, like that one up there towards Marshall County stands out, another one towards DeSoto County standing out, then that's where we could get some of those stronger wind gusts in excess of 40 to 50 miles an hour. Those will work their way towards Highway 6. So while we're not in a severe weather risk area down towards Tupelo or down towards Pontotoc, I don't think it's at all impossible to get a few rumbles of thunder even that far south, including some sub-severe gusts that could still be impactful. That frontal boundary will start to linger over our area for our Wednesday and allow for additional rain chances, but what do you see back behind it? A northerly wind component mixing its way into our forecast, and that's going to allow some cooler and drier air here in North Mississippi, making it feel finally so much better here in our area. So the next 24, while it does start out a little dicey, does get better by the afternoon as those temperatures only topping out in the low to mid 90s. That's still hot, but it's better than it was today. And as we look at the afternoon, some afternoon pop-up showers are still possible. So we're going to continue to monitor our Mama Justice Doppler radar for an extended period of time, but that's just summer Mississippi. We have a ton of heat, we have a ton of moisture, and that's always allowing for some thunderstorm development, especially once that convective temperature is reached in the afternoon. We're timing that out for folks heading into your Wednesday, but really looking specifically at that overnight threat with some strong storms possible. That as Mississippi Live Weather at 9 continues in the next 60 seconds.
Rain, humidity, wind, and storms can take a toll on your home. When they do, trust the team at Absolute Restoration for roofing, water damage, and mold remediation. 662-760-4348.
Hi, I'm Mississippi Live Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon. Reserve your St. Jude Dream Home giveaway ticket by July 31st, and you'll be eligible to win the house and the early bird prize, a $10,000 gift card to Brooks Grocery. Visit dreamhome.org to reserve your ticket for $100 and help St. Jude Children's Research Hospital continue its life-saving work. Then watch Mississippi Live on October 29th to see who wins the house and the other prizes. Reserve your ticket today.
Boys and Girls Club of North Mississippi presents Dance Like the Stars 2026, Saturday, August 8th at the Huntington Bank Arena. Floor seating is $50 and general admission seating is $20. All proceeds benefit the Boys and Girls Clubs of North Mississippi. For more information, visit bgcnms.org.
Good Tuesday evening, everybody. I'm Gabe Maynor here for Mississippi Live News. We start tonight's broadcast up in Alcorn County. The Alcorn County Sheriff's Office is warning residents about a phone scam that's making the rounds. Callers are claiming to be Sheriff's Office deputies telling people they have a warrant and must pay up or face arrest. Simply put, this is a scam. Deputies say the Sheriff's Office will never call you to collect money, period. By the way, scammers may be able to make their number show up as the actual Sheriff's Office line, and they may even use a real deputy's name to sound convincing. If you get a call like this, hang up immediately. You may have seen an increased law enforcement presence on the campus of Northeast today. Northeast Mississippi Community College is partnering with the Prentiss County Sheriff's Office and Boonville Police Department for a scheduled active shooter training. The training runs today, July 21st, and continues Wednesday, July 22nd. This is only a training exercise. There is no threat to campus. Officials say the exercise will help enhance their preparedness and response capabilities, keeping the campus and community safer. That's great news up there from Northeast Mississippi Community College, but we have good news here in North Mississippi, and that's as we continue with our Community Spotlight. We continue to shine a light on those shaping the next generation right here in North Mississippi. Today's Community Spotlight takes us to Caledonia. This is a look at Mr. Terrence Thomas, better known as Mr. T. He is a 5th grade teacher at Caledonia Elementary School. Mr. T is the 2024 Teacher of the Year in the Lowndes County School District and just completed his master's at MSU. But his biggest impact comes in the classroom. One viewer says he made learning fun while also encouraging the students to be better humans and classmates. The part I love is that Mr. T is not just a sayer, but a doer. If he tells your kid he will watch them perform in whatever they love doing, he will be there. One example is going to a YMCA game for students, or he also goes to Saturday morning Pee Wee football games and even pageants on Saturday evenings. Yes, you heard that correctly, Saturday. That's right, going above and beyond. Thank you for what you do, Mr. T, and we're praying for a successful school year. If you want to shout out an educator, teacher, principal, bus driver, or anyone making a difference in the classroom, you can let us know on our Facebook page as we will continue showing them off as we approach the upcoming school year. Thank you so much for joining us for Mississippi Live News at 6. I'm Gabe Maynor. Keep it here for the very latest.
What I thought was a complete life was nowhere near complete. But it is now.
Learn about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org.
Welcome to the next generation of local news, Mississippi Live. Where you are, when you want it, we're focused on you because local matters. We are Mississippi Live.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
So the percentages do not tell the complete story. We see 20% coverage Wednesday and Thursday, and we'd automatically just shove that to the side. 20%, it's not much. Well, in this case, 20% is impactful because as we're tracking those storms overnight and into our Wednesday morning, that's when we expect them to move in. They're not going to be overly high in coverage, and honestly, a large part of those going to be moving in while we're still sleeping. So don't sleep on the 20%. It's still going to be impactful with some strong gusts possible. Even into our Wednesday afternoon, additional chances are there, but coverage still pretty limited, sitting at about 20 to 30% by those afternoon plans. Same thing there for Thursday. Friday, Saturday, we see an uptick in that coverage and some heavy downpours and lightning possible. But as we get towards start of next week, again, turning the page on that forecast as we allow that heat to build in. Once again, we're seeing the upper 90s move back. And I told you at 6 o'clock, that's the lower end of the spectrum. We could be talking upper 90s. I'm not going to say triple digits just yet. I need to see more evidence over these next coming days, but it's not impossible. And I feel bewildered that I'm even saying that. So we're going to be paying attention heading into next week, but we're paying attention to tonight. Don't overlook this story because our severe threats are still possible tonight and into our early Wednesday. The main thing I want you to take away from this, some strong gusts are possible. We're not tracking tornadoes and we're not really tracking a hail threat tonight either. Heavy pockets of rain also expected with this setup, but these are the two I want you to know. Hail and tornadoes, not exactly a part of this threat, despite what folks have been seeing up there towards the northeast. As we saw, those storm reports have come in, and several of those are wind reports, but we did get a few confirmed tornado touchdowns and videos that were submitted right here to the Mississippi Live Weather Studio. So as I pull this up, here's a view at one of those tornadoes. This is a look specifically in Morristown, New Jersey. You can see that tornado on the ground there over the tree line. Richie getting a little bit too close for comfort there, but that was a tornado in New Jersey, folks. That tells you how much the pattern has shifted well out of here in North Mississippi. But even up here in Kentucky, this was a scary sight. Owentown, Kentucky, you can see the debris being lofted in the air. A very strong tornado outside of the Craig Mile Farm Equipment Shop, and that debris being lofted into the air. More than likely a barn, more than likely some trees mixed in there as well. So far, I've not heard of any fatalities or injuries, but with a storm like that, unfortunately, I would not be surprised if there were any as folks continue to do cleanup cleanup work up there in Kentucky. So continue to say a prayer for folks that have been affected by these storms. But we are fortunate here in North Mississippi that we have, yeah, there's the barn right there. Golly, just an unfortunate sight and very scary situation. So glad that that's not our forecast tonight, but we are praying for folks that are seeing that up there in Kentucky. So, and up there in New Jersey too. So as we bring it back full screen here, here's a look at our severe weather risk. It's going to be a level 1 threat up and around the Tennessee state line, encompassing parts of Highway 72 and right there towards Tate, DeSoto, and Tunica County. This is our focal point for storms tonight. These are going to be where they strengthen, and beyond that threat is when those will start to collapse a little bit. Now, I will say the positioning on that level 1 threat, that could be pushed a little bit more south, closer to Highway 6. But so far, we're remaining clear on our mom-adjusted Doppler radar, not tracking anything just yet. Yet, the key word there, our threat has not passed. Our threat has not even been here yet, despite some of that rainfall this afternoon. As we swap it up there towards our Memphis radar site to get a latest look at that positioning, those storms starting to flare up a little bit more right along I-40 there from Jackson to Millington. Still pretty scattered, still well below severe limits, but that's the line that we're watching, and that's where those storms are going to continue to develop and work their way south into, eventually, North Mississippi. Looking at those rainfall chances, I told you, let me clear this lower third off. My apologies for that. There we go. So as we look at those rain chances tonight, it's not going to be overly high. 10 to 20%, maybe up to 30% at times, but overall coverage will be limited. And if you live in Macon, Louisville, down towards Kosciuszko, we're not even expecting much for you. This is going to remain right along the Tennessee and Mississippi state line as those storms work their way into our area, right along this cold front. And you can watch the positioning on this overnight. 12:30, we're still tracking that right along that boundary. 2 a.m., you can see how those have just increased in coverage from 12 to 2. So that's that corridor where these will start to strengthen. Even 2 to 3, seeing a few heavier pockets there in Marshall County, there in DeSoto County, seeing a few of those pop up. And those are those darker, what we'd call DBZs, or darker colors indicating heavy rainfall. But what that heavy rainfall also represents are some higher cloud tops that make it heavier rainfall. So that's why it stands out to us on our Futurecast, is because that's indicating higher cloud tops meaning some stronger storms possible. So that's what we're watching for, some of the heavier rainfall as well as some of those stronger gusts. And that line will work down south towards Tunica, Bolivar County, even Panola County and Lafayette County included in that. So I don't want the risk to tell the complete story. If you're in Oxford, if you're in Batesville, if you're out there towards Clarksdale, if you're even over here towards Pontotoc, I wouldn't be ruling out some thunderstorm activity for you. I'm hopeful it remains below severe limits, and looking at this, I'm not overly impressed. But Northwest Mississippi does stand out as at least a few areas where things could get a little bit more dicey with those stronger wind gusts and heavier rainfall. By 5:30, yes, we will still have thunderstorms. Those should still be below severe limits. So our meteorologist, Maggie McCauley, she's going to be coming in early to track these storms with you guys and give you the very latest on what you need to know. And if one of those do go severe, we will be live as needed. So we'll be doing what we have to do. You guys got to do what you got to do by downloading that Mississippi Live Weather app and download a Weather Call or sign up for Weather Call to stay up to date on those storms. We're 75 in Boonville and Red Bay for the start of our Wednesday, but look out west. 79 Clarksdale, 79 Cleveland, 80 in Greenville. That shows you how unstable our environment is if we're starting the day at 80 degrees. And by the afternoon, things do ramp up. We're 91 at noon, 93 by 3. Rainfall does try to move in, still pretty limited in coverage, but temperature is looking better, and that's what I want you to take away from this. The positioning of the front tells the complete story. Where this front is positioned, to the south of it, it's still going to be pretty toasty. Now, with that comes some chances at some rain-cooled air, but very isolated and spotty in nature, so that's not going to be the case for everybody. North of the front, though, look at the northerly breezes that are moving in. This is going to cycle in some drier, cooler air that'll make it so much more comfortable, and despite temperatures still being hot, it's not going to be that moist air that's going to make those heat indices climb into 100 plus degrees. It's still going to be pretty comfortable up there north of Highway 6 and areas that will see the storms overnight tonight, basically. But with that being said, some storms are still possible. Coverage still sitting at about 10 to 20%, but it's the temperatures that'll tell the story on our Wednesday, as we're 95 south of Highway 6. North of there, though, low 90s, and look at feels like values. Not even in the triple digits north of Highway 6. So something that we are continuing to monitor, and we'll get the latest update tonight at 10, are the latest on the heat alerts. I do expect a few heat advisories to still be in place, but extreme heat warnings, not expecting those. And I do expect a few counties, you know who you are, to be out of that heat risk altogether. So that's a positive heading into the next 24 hours. Yes, there are storms tonight, but beyond the storms, things looking a lot better. Our Wednesday night continues to see those storms try and linger around. I will say the positioning on the front might be off a little bit because where those storms are popping up are going to be along that boundary, and we kind of see this shift in the winds on both sides of these storms. So I think the front is more right here from Amory to Houston to Grenada, and as that continues to linger around, will allow additional development overnight and even into the start of our Thursday. So keep the rain gear around. Don't worry, no severe weather tomorrow night, but it will still have a few sprinkles and light showers here and there for our Thursday morning commute. We're 70 degrees in South Haven and Senatobia, 69 though, Holly Springs, Corinth, and Iuka. That's fantastic to start those temperatures on our Thursday in the upper 60s in spots. Shows the shift in the pattern, and we're definitely not complaining about that one bit. As we continue through our Thursday morning, we do see those rain chances linger around once again. By lunchtime, starting to thin up a little bit more. And I do say rain chances. Honestly, that might be too aggressive because overall coverage here in North Mississippi is still pretty dry in the overnight hours and even into the start of our Thursday. So don't go grabbing the rain gear expecting rainfall. Grab it as more of a precautionary measure as these storms do try to move in. Now into the afternoon, that's where these do start to bubble up once again, and you can see some heavier downpours. So our meteorologist Caleb Edelblut and meteorologist Maggie McCauley, they'll be looking at the very latest heading into our Thursday morning and afternoon as some of those rumbles move back into the forecast. Are we expecting severe weather? Not as of right now. Wouldn't be shocked, though, to see some heavy downpours and some sub-severe gusts, though, with that Thursday afternoon threat. We're 90 in Tupelo, 91 Starkville and Eupora, 93 Greenwood and Belzona, but look up north. 88 Oxford, 88 Holly Springs, 86 Boonville and Iuka. Folks, this is as good as it gets here in North Mississippi. And again, we are not complaining one bit about this pattern. Feels like values, you'd be an outlier if you reach the triple digits for feels like values on your Thursday afternoon. So get out there and enjoy it. Should be a great time. You just have to dodge a few spotty showers in the process. Our Thursday night sees those rain chances linger around. This a result of that stationary front. So into your Friday, we are expecting additional rain chances and a few of those containing some heavy downpours, as well as a few of those sub-severe gusts. But as that kind of shifts its way up there towards the north, taking those rain chances out overnight. And this is more of what we expect for a nocturnal threat, staying mostly dry. But by Saturday, watch how that activity ramps up once again. This a result of another frontal system approaching North Mississippi and going to allow those storms to work their way in once again by the afternoon. The front not giving us the benefit of the front that we're experiencing tomorrow. What I mean by that is we're not getting the rain-cooled air back behind it. And that's why while rain chances increase, the front basically retreats up there towards the northeast and gives us all the heat that we could want. 94 Sunday, 96 Monday, 97 Tuesday. So folks, it is toasty. It's summer in Mississippi. So it is what it is at this point whenever we're talking temperatures, but continue to stay safe, continue to stay hydrated. That's what we encourage you guys to do. And now coming up tonight at 10, we're going to be talking about the temperatures more. We're going to be talking about the storms more, and we are going to be looking at Bertha in a little bit more detail right along that Mississippi coastline as we head overnight and into the start of our Wednesday. So lots to talk about. We're going to continue to look at the very latest coming up tonight at 10. I do want to pull up the chat real quick. Appreciate that, Trey. Read your comment there behind the scenes. So if you're wondering, Gabe, why are you doing news and weather all evening? Well, Matt and Emily are apparently chasing Bertha. No, they just went on vacation and somehow ended up in the middle of a tropical storm. And Caleb is out today and tomorrow, so you're going to see a whole lot of my face for a little bit, so I apologize for that. But filling in for news, so I'm going to try to fill Emily's shoes, but she will be back before you know it. But news is still happening here in North Mississippi, and we want to provide that to you. So doing my best to do that. And with that being said, send in your stories to us here at Mississippi Live, and we'll be happy to air what's happening in your area coming up throughout the week. So appreciate all of that. Appreciate the kind words, Trey. I see Michelle asking, what about Water Valley? I see you asked that at 6 too. I believe I answered that at 6. So, but I'll re-answer it. Water Valley not under a severe weather risk for tonight. While a few rumbles are possible, not expecting severe weather for you. So. Any tornadoes for Amory tonight? No tornadoes for anyone in North Mississippi. Not expecting that with this threat. This is going to be a gusty situation as well as a heavy rain situation as this line works its way into North Mississippi. More details coming up tonight at 10 on that as we look at the latest on our triple threat. So continue to keep it here for the very latest, and we'll keep you updated on what you need to know as this threat approaches. So with that being said, I do have some homework for you guys. I know, homework in summer, but it would be worth your while. Download that Mississippi Live weather app today. While we do our part to keep you updated, you can't be updated without a way to watch us, and that's on the Mississippi Live Weather app. So download that today on iOS and Android. And like, subscribe, and follow on all of our socials as we keep you updated there as well. Send in your news stories if you have any, and send in those Weather Watcher photos. All of that can be done on the Mississippi Live Weather app. So thank you for the hundreds of thousands that have downloaded it so far, and we look forward to all the others that will join us in the process. We're just so grateful and humbled to be a part of this community, and we promise to keep you guys safe, even if the storms are in the middle of the night. With that being said, our next broadcast coming up tonight at 10, so tune in for the very latest on the positioning of these storms and what potential impacts they will have, as well as taking a look at Bertha and the impacts that tropical storm is making along the coastlines. That all coming up tonight at 10. We'll see you then.
I have been going to Tupelo Smiles my whole life. When I was a kid, I was unhappy about some uneven coloring on my teeth after getting my braces off, which at the time there really wasn't a fix. I was recently made aware of a solution that would totally fix it, which is exactly what we did. They not only heard my concerns, but they never stopped looking to solve my problem, and that's why I love Tupelo Smiles.